Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, October the 26th, 2020. It is currently 6:53 p.m. Central Time. I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas. I'm standing here in my study, and I'm doing this live broadcast via an iPad Pro. Yes, I have an iPad Pro in my hands, and that's what I'm using. I don't know what the sound quality will be doing a live broadcast holding an iPad Pro. I hope it's acceptable. I hope it's okay. If the sound quality isn't great, I apologize. One of the reasons I'm not at the church doing a live broadcast is, well, a lot of things have changed. If you listened to me yesterday, I did a live broadcast and I told you that I drove to my church through a hot summer October day in Texas because it was like 90 degrees. I got to the church. I had to turn on the air conditioning because it was hot. And well, a lot has changed because right now, here I am in Abilene, Texas, and we're under a winter storm warning. We have ice that's currently falling. We've had a little bit of snow coming down, nothing major. Now, I know a winter storm warning for here in Texas is far different than those of you who live in, I don't know, up north somewhere where you live through the winter apocalypse every year. But when we get a winter storm warning, it may only be a little bit of ice, but they're already canceling things, shutting things down. And the last thing I want to do is drive out to the church. And then next thing you know, I try to drive home and have a very difficult time trying to make it back alive. So I'm not at the church. I probably will not be there tomorrow. And obviously I will try to be back there Wednesday. But I had an opportunity to grab the iPad and to go live. So that's what I have done. And I want to share with you a very controversial article. It's made a lot of people mad, but I want you to take the time to read it for yourself, and I want you to think about it, okay? So we all know that the presidential election is coming up, and we know that a large portion of Christianity is like, you must vote for Donald Trump, and if you do not, you are not even a Christian, all right? Somehow your salvation is now dependent on who you vote for. I guess now assurance of salvation is dependent on who you vote for. If you're truly a Christian, you'll vote for Donald Trump, and if you don't vote for Donald Trump, then your salvation is to be questioned. I didn't find that scripture that states that my salvation is dependent on who I vote for. I thought my salvation was dependent on the finished work of Jesus Christ, right? It's based off my faith in that finished work, my acceptance of that finished work of Jesus Christ and his death, burial, and resurrection. That's my hope and salvation is that, not who I vote for. So we're already way off the beaten path of a good understanding of the doctrine of salvation when we start telling people that they're not really a Christian if they don't vote the way we think they should vote. However, you can have very important questions in regards to who people vote for and the election. But for a Christian, that conversation should be theological and not political. We have to have a theological perspective. I've been talking about that a lot, right? A theological perspective. So what I want to do is I want to share with you an article. Now, I'm not going to read the article for you here because I don't want to offer any of my thoughts or opinions about the article. What I'm simply going to do is tell you where you can find the article, and I want you to read it for yourself, and I want you to struggle with it, all right? And here is the basic idea behind this article. As a Christian, how much should you care about the truth? As a Christian, how important is truth to you? How significant is it? Now, sometimes I'm baffled by how Christians share information that's absolutely fraudulent. They share information that is not accurate. They misrepresent the truth. And whenever they're called out for it, that, hey, that's not true. That's a hoax. That's a conspiracy theory with no basis of reality. They almost act like, well, what's your problem? Well, my problem is, as Christians, we are supposed to care for the truth, love the truth, defend the truth, share the truth, speak the truth. The idea, Christianity believes in absolute truth, objective, absolute truth. The world has embraced the philosophy of relativism where there is no absolute truth. But Christianity says, no, there is objective, absolute truth. And if we truly believe that, then we should reject anything we should reject a statement made by anyone, even if it's your favorite political leader, when they don't speak the truth, they misrepresent the truth, and they simply use the truth as a tool for their own political advancement. And then they will misrepresent that truth when it's advantageous to them. That should bother us. So how much do you care about the truth? And what do you do when it comes to political leaders who misuse the truth, abuse the truth, misrepresent the truth? Should you be bothered? How should you handle that? Should that impact who you vote for or shouldn't vote for? Well, that is going to be for you to work with, but for you to struggle through and think about. But what I guess the thing I really want to get across is set the election aside. Set the election aside. Set Donald Trump, Joe Biden, set it all aside. Do you think that Christians have somehow lost, that somehow Christians have lost the right perspective when it comes to truth? Do you think Christians have been so influenced by relativism that we no longer seem to know how to determine what truth is? We don't have any discernment, that we buy into lies and hoaxes, and that we're the ones who share them, that we're the ones who are fooled by them, that we're the ones who buy into them? Are we the ones that are impacted and deceived by false information? Are Christians now become the spreaders of misinformation, the spreaders of deception, when we're supposed to be the ones saying, no, we're looking at the culture and we're screaming at the culture that no, there's absolute truth. There's absolute truth. There's absolute truth. And if we're the ones saying that, if we are the ones saying that there's absolute truth, if we're the ones saying it, then do we then contradict ourselves by how we handle certain things from a political perspective? In other words, can our political perspective so blind us that we demonstrate that we don't actually believe in absolute truth, or that we contradict our statements in regards to absolute truth? I just think Christians, we need to get back to a right. We need to get back to a right understanding of truth from a biblical perspective. There is absolute truth, and that truth is absolute, and we stand for that, and we believe in that. And anything that goes against the truth, we reject. And that we're the ones who are like, I'm going to verify that. I'm not going to believe that unless I verify it. I'm going to check this. I'm going to check this. I'm going to check this. I have had numerous people tell me certain things about COVID, or certain things about things that they've heard. And then I spend hours calling all the people I know who work for this organization or this hospital. And then I'm like, and they're, basically laughing at me on the phone going, people are really saying that? I'm like, that's what they're saying. And but why do I take the time to verify things and try? Because I want the truth. I care about truth. Truth. And once we basically give up truth, then Christianity, everything we say as Christians is based off the idea that we believe in absolute truth. We quote a scripture, we believe it's absolutely true. We say something about God, we believe it's absolutely true. And we believe that it's absolutely true whether one rejects it or not. And we make absolute truth statements, but we have to apply that to every area of life. Politics, COVID, you name it. But, all right, I'm getting ready to go in a full sermon about it. But let me just tell you about this article, all right? But I just kind of wanted to set it up based off that. All right, here is the article. This is the headline. Christian Witness demands that we defend truth and reject Donald Trump. Now, that's going to create some controversy. That's going to make a lot of Christians mad. Now, all the controversy around it, I think, is foolish, because I think people are missing the point. Forget Donald Trump. Forget this. This is the way when I saw the headline, this is what I thought. Christian Witness demands that we defend truth. To me, the article is more about Christians and the idea of truth than it is about Christians and Donald Trump. But because they mentioned Donald Trump, obviously that's what everyone's going to focus on. Let me just read the little paragraph they have under the headline. Once we no longer care about the truth, our own deliberations become corrupt. When the positions we take and the policies we advocate are not restrained by truth, it no longer seems to matter how we bring about our agenda. All that matters is that we win. I want you to hear that again. Once we no longer care about the truth, our own deliberations become corrupt. When the positions we take and the policies we advocate are not restrained by truth, it no longer seems to matter how we bring about our agenda. All that matters is that we win. And you've seen this. I've seen pastors stand behind the pulpit and say things about COVID that are absolutely false, absolutely disproven. And the best they have for a source is some conspiracy video on YouTube. And you can go, well, I've got 30 sources. I'm like, you can't believe those sources because all those sources are part of the conspiracy. Well, then at that point, all they care about is winning their argument. They're not really cared about investigating and finding truth. Now, I got no problem questioning anything. I got no problem. I believe question everything. But you've got to have something actually concrete other than someone just telling. This person on YouTube told me that's not true. So therefore, it's not true. You got to have something better than that. You got to have information. But I think Christians are right now. I think since 2016, I think Christians have been at war with truth. I think Christianity is at war with truth. We used to say the culture is at war with truth. I think Christians have become at war with truth. So I want you to read this article. Again, it is called Christian Witness Demands That We Defend Truth and Reject Donald Trump. Let me read it again. Once we no longer care about the truth, our own deliberations become corrupt. When the positions we take and the policies we advocate are not restrained by truth, it no longer seems to matter how we bring about our agenda. All that matters is that we win. Now, you can read that article by going to theologycentral.net, theologycentral.net. That's theologycentral.net. Go to the blog section. It's the first article there. theologycentral.net. Now, please ignore the Donald Trump stuff, right? I want you to just look at it as more as a discussion about Christians, truth, and how we handle the truth and apply our belief in absolute truth to, political situations or any other situation. If you get caught up on the Donald Trump thing, you're going to miss the deeper discussion that's needed. The deeper discussion is Christians and our belief in absolute truth, and then applying that concept to every discussion, COVID discussion, every discussion, that we believe in truth and that we're not going to believe anything and we're not going to be deceived by manipulation and half-truths and lies and false information, and we're going to pursue truth. But they obviously have an opinion about who to vote for, because this is some essays are going to be written this week by this group where they're going to have different people speak about the election from a biblical and theological perspective, and they're going to have all kinds of different perspectives, those who support Trump, those who don't. I don't care about that. It was a discussion about truth that caught my attention, and that's what I want you to see. So go look at it right now, theologycentral.net, theologycentral.net. That's theologycentral.net. Go to the blog section, and then after you read it, email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. That's newsif@yahoo.com, and give me your thoughts. Give me your feelings and how do you think Christians are relating to the truth and handling truth in 2020? All right. Now I've got to stop right there before my dog starts barking. But yes, I'm coming to you from Abilene, Texas, where we are currently in the middle of a winter apocalypse. We're probably all going to die. So this will probably be the last broadcast I've ever given. No, that's all hyperbole and exaggeration. But no, we're in a winter storm warning. And, if it is bad as they claim it will be, then possibly there's a good chance I will not be at the church tomorrow to do any live broadcasts. But I do have the iPad Pro. And when this is over, I'm going to go listen to it. And if the sound quality is okay, then maybe I can pull off some live broadcast here from the study. All right, I'll stop right there. Everyone have a great evening. And, read that article and let me know what you think. All right, everyone have a great night. God bless.